Hi guys and welcome. In this one I'm going over the best reputation rewards for the various factions in the classic Burning Crusade, and I'll give you my opinion to what those rewards are good for in terms of class, spec and professions. Since there are a lot of factions in TBC, I'm going to split this video into two parts. This one will cover the factions associated with dungeons like Thrallmar, Honorhold, and Cenarion Expedition for example, and the next video will cover the factions that aren't like Scryers, Aldor, Consortium, so on and so forth. My name is Mr. CX and I create content about World of Warcraft. Currently I'm more focused on the classic version of the game, and I also plan on streaming here on YouTube when Classic TBC gets released, which will be on June 1st. So feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to get notified when I go live or when I upload a new video. So let's get started. The first faction that you are presented with when you cross the Dark Portal into Hellfire Peninsula is Thrallmar if you play on the Horse side, or Honorhold if you play on the Alliance. In order to gain reputation with these factions, you can run Hellfire Ramparts and the Blood Furnace dungeons until you are honored and below level 70, and after reaching level 70 or honored, you can only gain a reputation from the dungeons by running Shattered Halls on normal mode or any of those three dungeons on heroic. Hellfire quests, on the other hand, will grant you reputation until you are exalted, but since doing all the quests alone isn't enough to reach exalted, my recommendation for all dungeon-based factions is to only do quests when you reach honored, by running the dungeons multiple times. You can even wait until you're level 70 for the extra gold we will get from completing those quests. Now let's take a look at Thrallmar faction rewards. If you are a spellcaster DPS, you can use swords, then getting exalted with Thrallmar will provide you with an epic sword which has similar stats as the one from Gruul, but with less 40 spell power. If you are a hunter, then the pre-raid best in slot bow will come from exalted with Thrallmar. And there is also a decent polearm at Revered if you couldn't get the one from Murmur by then. When it comes to healers, at Revered you can get the best head enchant as well as the pre-raid best in slot ring. If you happen to use the gun, you can also get high level bullets when you reach Revered. Regarding professions, for enchanters, at Revered you can buy the formula enchant chest all stats, which increase all main stats like agility, intellect, strength, etc. by 6, making this the best enchant for non-healing specs like tanks and healers basically. And at friendly you can buy the formula enchant Bracer Superior Healing, which is the best bracer enchant for all healing specs. Leatherworkers you can buy the patterns for the 3 pieces of the Fellstalker set at friendly and honored, and this is a great alternative to the epic and bind on pickup Ebb on Scale. And since the Fellstalker is bind on equip, you can also sell it on auction house to make some gold early on. You can also get at Honor and Exalted the pattern for the blue and happy Clag Enchant for attack power DPSs like Hunters and Rogues. And finally, for Alchemists, you can buy the recipe for Transmute Skyfire Diamond at Honored. This allows you to create a raw meta gem, and since it is on a 20-hour cooldown, this will sell for a lot early on. And will also continue to sell throughout the entire expansion. At Honored, you can buy the recipe for Elixir of Major Agility. That's basically it for the Thrallmar reputation rewards. Regarding Honorhold, the Quartermaster is located near the east exit of Honorhold and will provide you the same rewards that I've pointed out for Thrallmar with slight changes. Instead of selling a bow at Exalted, it sells a gun with pretty much the same stats as a bow, and the caster's sword is pretty much the same as well. Next on the list we have Cenarion Expedition. You can gain reputation with this faction until you are honored and below level 70 by running Slave Pains and the Underbog dungeons in normal mode. Once you reach level 70 or honored, you can only gain reputation by running Steamvault in normal mode, running any of those 3 dungeons on heroic, or doing the Cenarion Expedition quests. You can find quests for the Cenarion Expedition in Hellfire, Zangarmarsh, Terrakar Forest, and Blade's Edge Mountains. The Quartermaster for both Horde and Alliance is located in the Cenarion Refuge. Now let's take a look at the best rewards. If you are a caster DPS, at Exalted you can buy an Epic Ring, which should be the pre-raid best in slot for most of you. Also at Exalted and for Feral Druid ranks, there is also the option to buy the pre-raid best in slot weapon. When it comes to attack power DPS class, at Revered, you can buy the best head enchant for you, with a Ferocity. And regarding professions, for Leatherworkers at Friendly and Honored, you can buy the patterns for the 3 pieces of the Heavy Cleft set, which is a good set for Feral Tank Druids, and can be sold on the auction house. You can also get at Honored and Exalted, the pattern for the blue and happy Clag Enchant for all tank specs. If you're an alchemist, at Honored you can buy the recipe for the Transmute Earthstorm Diamond raw meta gem, and at Exalted you can buy the recipe for the Flask of the Steel Wisdom, but I wouldn't focus on getting this recipe that much. Blacksmiths can purchase the plain adamantite sharpening stone and adamantite weight stone to craft buff weapons, mostly for warriors though, because rogues will use poisons and shamans will use wind fury. For enchanters, at Exalted you can buy the formal enchant cloak Stealth, which improves stealth capabilities, This enchant can be useful for druids and rogues in PvP. That covers all the good rewards for the Cenarion Expedition though. Next on the list we have the Lower City. In order to gain reputation with this faction, you can run Okanai Crypt, Catacombs and Shadow Labyrinth on normal mode until you reach Honor and you aren't level 70 yet. You can also turn in Echo of Feathers for reputation. After reaching Honored or level 70, you can only gain reputation by running Shadow Labyrinth in normal mode or any of those 3 dungeons on Heroic. Mana Tombs, despite being located in the same area as those 3 dungeons, actually provides reputation with the Consortium faction. The Quartermaster for Lower City is located in the lower part of Shatrath, and when it comes to rewards, this faction doesn't offer as many rewards as the previous one that I've covered so far. So if you are a caster DPS that can't use swords, after reaching Exalted will allow you to buy a mace with similar stats as the sword from Thrallmar and Honor Hold. Melee DPSers at Exalted, they can buy the Epic Ring, which is the pre-raid best-in slot for those classes. For healers, mostly druids and priests, the trinket from Honored is listed as best-in slot as well. Those are the most relevant rewards for the Lower City faction. Last but not least, we have Keepers of Time. In order to gain reputation with this faction, there aren't many quests available and only 2 dungeons. All you have to do is basically farm Escape from Durnhole and Black Moraz on normal and heroic modes. Regarding the rewards, if you are a warrior or a paladin tank, at Revered you can buy the best in slot legs and also a good head enchant. Spellcaster DPSers that can use swords can also get a nice blue weapon at Revered. There is also a decent cloth healing wrist you can get at Exalted, but I reckon there are better options available to you by the time you reach Exalted. As for professions, for enchanters at Exalted you can buy the Formal Enchant Glove Superior Agility, and this is the best glove enchant for agility classes. At Honored you can also get the Formal Enchant Ring Spell Power and Enchant Glove's Major Spell Power. If you are an alchemist, at Exalted you can buy the Recipe Flask of Supreme Power, the best flask for spellcaster DPSers. For jewel crafters at Honored, you can buy the Design Enigmatic Skyfire Diamond, a fairly decent meta gem for PvP, and you can also buy Design Facet of Eternity, an epic defense rating gem for jewel crafters only. Then at Revered, you can buy the Design Stone of Blades, which crafts an epic crit gem, also only usable by jewel crafters. That cover all dungeon-based factions, and in the next one I'll cover the remaining factions. Hope this contained helpful information to you. If so, consider leaving a like and subscribing for more. Also, leave a comment if you think I forgot to mention any particular reward or to provide any feedback you want. Have a good day and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.